Eufy has upgraded their wireless solar security cameras. We've now got the eufyCam S330. So it's got a 4K resolution now, which is capturing just so much detail compared to the previous models that had 2K. You can zoom in a lot to the live preview and even the footage and just see far more in terms of detail there, which is really good. So we have the features that we've seen in the previous models, that we've got AI human detection. So they've got their bionic AI, they call it now, that can detect human shapes. You've even got face recognition as well. You can set that up with family members. So it's got two-way communication because there is an inbuilt speaker. There's a microphone. It's got LED flash with it. It's got an app that is fully featured. You get, of course, all those alerts coming through to your mobile phone. And because it does have the solar panel on it, it can go and go and go. But even if you do have it in the shade, the battery is good for up to 365 days. And if you do, of course, have it in the sun, then it's going to be topping itself up, so you don't have to worry about that at all. The base station here, it's got 16 gigabytes of storage. It's encrypted, local storage that is, free of charge, and you can add a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte hard drive to it to increase that capacity. So this is what we get inside our box. You can see the two 4K cameras there. So this is the S330s, otherwise known as the eufyCam 3s. The protector over the lens there, so it's not going to get damaged in transit. And I'll look at those in detail shortly. This is the Homebase, so they are going to sync up with that. And then just under here, you will find we do have our mounts. So we've got two mounts there in the box. And just under this, there's a little bit of paperwork here. So instructions, quick start guide, and a couple of stickers there. There are two of them there, 24/7 monitoring by Eufy Security. There's the guide. And here we have our plugs here. So they've got different plugs. That's a UK one. We have a EU one there. And here is the power supply there for the Homebase. Ethernet cable, type C to type A cable. That's for charging the cameras themselves. Then they do include two lots of screws there for mounting it. And we do have this for the hard drive, some hard drive screws there and a little tool. And finally, these, some positioning cards. They're actually little stickers. So what you do is stick that on the wall, and there's the cutouts there for where you need to drill the holes for the two screws. This is the home station. So it's running off a 2.4 gigahertz band, otherwise known as Wi-Fi N. So not the Wi-Fi AC standard, but why they do use Wi-Fi N is normally the range is a lot better. That's why they do it. So here we have at the top a little cover. Now it's got a magnet that keeps it on. You simply press down here, pops up, and that will then give us access to where we can install a 2.5-inch hard drive, which is really good to see. So it's got one simple little screw here. You just undo that, and then it is going to slide right out. As you can see, that just pops out. You install the hard drive in there. Now you can install really large capacities, so you're going to have local storage. The files, when they're saved on this drive, they are encrypted, so you don't need to worry about anyone being able to access them later on if someone was to, imagine, steal this somehow if they got into your house. Hopefully not. So the back of it here, we've got the button there to sync it with the cameras themselves, of course. Turn off the alarm if that is triggered. USB 3 port, USB 2, LAN port, power in. And at the front of it here, we do have a status LED. Now, the build quality of this is good, and it is a nice, small, compact size. It's not too large. So it is a nice, small, compact size, this S330. So you see here at the back, we do have the mounting point there. There's the sync button to sync it up with the Homebase. And just under this weatherproof cap, you will find a Type-C port now. So they've moved away from micro USB, thankfully, gone over to Type-C, more modern, and everything should now be Type-C anyway, to start with. And the plastics I've used, very good. High quality. We do have a solar panel on the top. Now, it is recommended that you charge these up first fully, so you've got a 100% battery. Now, the battery will last for, they claim, a whole year, even if you don't have any solar, or sun, should I say, to top it up there with the solar power. Now, I do have their previous model, a 2K camera, and I've never had an issue. I get a lot of sun here, and it's always at 100%. So if it is getting a few hours of sunlight per day, that should be enough just to keep topping it up there, and you never have to worry about the battery with it again. So the camera is a 4K camera that we have with this model now. So that's an upgrade over previous generations. Passive infrared is right here. We do have a status LED, two powerful LEDs at the top. So it does have a color night vision mode. And we also can have, of course, that black and white infrared night vision mode too as well with these. Microphone, there is a loudspeaker at the bottom so we can have two-way conversations. And of course, this whole thing is weatherproof. It's designed to be rained on. It's designed to be sitting out in the sun all day, topping up that battery. This is our app. It is called Eufy Security. Now you can get it on iOS for Apple devices or Android, which I'm currently running at the moment. So it does have a preview snapshot here of all your different cameras. So I've got quite a few of them, as you can see all around my house here. Now I did have a Amazon delivery, and you can see it's recorded a short clip there because it does have that Bionic Mind AI recognition. So this is facial recognition, and it will even list familiar faces. You can scan your own face and family members. It'll come up so you know if, for example, someone's arrived, your daughter, your father, whatever. It's going to tell you that, which is handy. But not only just facial recognition, it's also human shape recognition. So that can then distinguish the difference between moving leaves and an actual person you want to record a clip of. So under events, you're going to see it all in here. And you can also, of course, log into the cameras, which I'll do now. I'll just jump into this camera, decide one, number 2. The live preview is very quick, but it's going to depend on your internet connection. I've noticed that if I'm out on 4G and it's a bit patchy, it can take a while sometimes to log in because of the network. So it's all going to be really dependent on that. So you can record a clip, you can listen, you can take a snapshot, you can also turn on the alarm, night mode, and the LED light there. We have settings. So a lot of settings for these cameras. Anti-theft detection, you can turn that on. Spotlight settings. This is a big one here, motion detection. Now, there's a lot of options in here, some new ones as well, which are currently beta. Vehicle detection, pet detection. If you want to see or record clips of, for example, your cat, your dog, you can test it out, but it could be a little hit and miss. And you've got other monitors on there. You've got human recognition. You could even disable that if you didn't want. You've got motion detection just to turn it off completely. If you wanted to, you can adjust the sensitivity, activity zones as well. Imagine you've got a tree or something that's always moving. You don't want it to never actually detect that part. Then you set up the activity zone that you want, which is good. So we have here power management. Now you can get it to run off the solar panel, of course. And once the sun goes down, it works then by using the battery pack. You can see the events, the days it's been working here. You can set up the surveillance. I've got it on optimal, so it's recording longer clips up to 60 seconds, or custom. You can set that however you want yourself. And you see there's a lot of other options in here. General, we've got firmware updates, audio settings, notification settings. You name it, it is pretty much there with this application. Then lastly, with the app here, we do have an option to change them into different modes. So imagine you're about to go away for the weekend. As soon as you get out of your house, out of the range of these cameras, you can then change them from being home when you're home to set them to the away mode. And what that will do is trigger the alarms if it sees anyone around your house. It will send you a notification as well. And that's great to see if you do have any intruders and hopefully scare them away and advise you. Now the setup is quite easy. You just need to plug it in. It will guide you through it with the application. You need to sync up the two cameras. Now to get past the issue of not having a wireless connection for this because it needs to be wired, what I do is I use what is called a power line, and this is plugged in. So it's basically creating there a LAN network, and we can use that to then plug in the Homebase. Now I've got everything I need here, the two cameras, mounting screws, the mounts, and the positioning card to install the two cameras. And the job supervisor, like always, has showed up just in time for my installation here to make sure I'm doing the job right. So this is a perfect location to install it right up here. So this is my old camera. This one is the 2K camera, solar, and it has never needed me to charge the battery up once because it's always in the sun. It's always at 100% battery. It just goes and goes and goes. Never had any problems either with connection. It's always been stable and it's been really reliable, this one. So that's an ideal, perfect location to mount these cameras, is somewhere that's in the sun, but of course it has to be within the range of the network so you don't have any connectivity issues.
So my ideal location is here. This is actually the test spot that I test out these cameras, security cameras with. So I'm just going to mount it here on the wall, but it's perfect because it will actually be in the sun for quite a few hours, enough to top up that battery. And you're basically looking at the view that it's going to get from around about here down the side of the house. So you can use the live preview with the application, with those cameras, to find out where is the ideal spot for your camera. Now to drill the holes, so what I've got is the sticker there, of course, to position those holes perfectly for the mount. Then screw the mount in place. Then mount our camera, taking into account the sunlight, so hopefully that panel gets the maximum amount of sun just to keep topping up that battery. But even if it doesn't, it should last for a year, 365 days. The eufyCam 3 does have a built-in alarm, so if it detects humans, people in front of it, you can set it so it will sound the alarm. And here's a sample of just how loud it is. But note, for headphone users, I have turned this right down, so you're not going to be deafened by just how loud it is. But it's actually way louder than this sample I'm giving you now.
Over 12 samples now, so this is what you can expect quality-wise out of the eufyCam 3 here. So it is 4K, a lot sharper than what we normally typically have, which is either 2K or even just 1080p. So a lot more details are captured. And of course what you're listening to is the built-in microphone. There is a loudspeaker. You can have two-way conversations to whoever is on the other side with the application that I showed you just before. This is the night vision mode now using just the infrared, so black and white. It does look very clear and you can see a lot of detail. Let's take a look at the color night mode now. I do have the LED lights on as well too with this color vision mode. And you can see it doesn't look bad at all for nighttime footage. Captures a lot again just like the infrared style. So you can pick and choose through the app if you want to use the infrared black and white or the color vision night mode. Now to recap here, that it is very easy to set up this eufyCam 3, the S330. You can put it basically anywhere you want, but it must be within wireless range of the Homebase. And then if you can, if possible, place it somewhere in the sun so you never have to charge it again because it'll just keep topping itself off if it gets enough hours. Now the battery life on this, if you don't have a huge amount of events per day, will go for up to 365 days. That's great. It's got a weatherproof design to it, so no problem this being in the rain, out in the sun. Of course, that's what it's designed to do. It's an outdoor wireless security camera. The footage now with 4K just looks so much better, especially when you zoom into the live preview, you can see so much more, whereas with other cameras that I do have, and even Eufy Security's 2K cameras or the 1080p ones, it looks washed out, a little bit blurry. You can't see that much because you're not going to get the same definition, the details that you can with ultra high definition 4K, which is really good. So there we go, that is the eufyCam 3 or the S330. Thank you so much for watching this video, this hands-on of it, and I'll see you in the next one.